Introducing the Jasper Cacao Project, your gateway to spiritual enlightenment through the power of cacao. This is a wholesome beverage that not only nourishes your body but also uplifts your soul. Jasper cacao is ethically sourced, fairly traded, organically grown and crafted with love to bring you a truly transformative experience. Cacao, known as food of the gods, has been revered for centuries for its spiritual and healing properties. The Jasper Cacao Project honours this ancient tradition by offering you the purest form of cacao, free from additives and preservatives. Indulge in the rich beverages and feel the positive energy flow through you, whether you are looking to enhance your meditation practice, nourish your body with goodness, or simply savour a moment of bliss. The Cacao Project is here to accompany you on your spiritual journey. With every kilo sold, Jasper Cacao donate funds to the UK charity Plant Your Future, enabling farmers to sustainably grow their crops in the most eco-friendly way. Check out my bio for a discount on your first purchase, where you will receive 15% exclusive affiliate discount. Expanding love with every sip. Hello and welcome, witches and beautiful souls, to the Bell Witch podcast with me, Swailes, the friendly green witch, helping you to get witching in the 21st century. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the little bonus episode from Leanne, who I thought, why not just throw one out there that she sent me, and I thought it sounded really cool and it would just chock a block with helpful information, and so I put it on as a bit of a bonus for you, just because I like you and I like doing this for you, and I hope you got a lot from it. I particularly loved when she was talking about Hansel and Gretel, you know, where the origins of that story came from, and how midwives in the medieval centuries or whatnot would keep newborns warm by putting them on a low temperatured oven. Somebody obviously saw that and made their own little story up, which got passed down and became a folklore story that ended up going into children's fairy tales. I really liked that little snippet of information that Leanne shared with us. I also really liked the cat stuff. It was just commonplace to have a cat as a pet, you know, to keep the rodents at bay, and of course that also got misinterpreted with the witch trials and blaming cats for stuff, I guess because there were a lot of connection to animal magic, women turning into hares. Doesn't seem that far of a jump from women turning into hares and witches having cats that are their familiar. This is actually a second recording from Leanne. I got one a couple of months back, and it's a right awesome, twisty roller coaster of conversation between two witches, which covers a fantastic array of topics that Leanne is really passionate about. It's a bit too varied for a podcast episode. However, I am going to upload it onto my Patreon as a subscriber bonus content podcast. If you would like to hear that and you loved what Leanne had to say, you can join my Patreon for as little as £1.50 a month, which I hope is affordable for you. That's my ultimate goal. You're helping me to put money back into the podcast by subscribing. Also, you can join as a free trial taster for a week if you wanted to come on and just see how it's going, what it's all about. You're very welcome to do that, and you can cancel whenever you like. It's just to help me really on the whole podcasting journey to pay for the subscription of WavePad Master, which I use to do all the editing myself. I don't get paid for podcasting. Very few podcasters do. We do it because it's a labour of love, and it really does fill us souls up, and we've got knowledge to share. And I also really love meeting people and talking about their passions. I get so giddy, and then they get right giddy as well, and then we just end up sitting there like two giddy kippers trying to record something like a podcast. It's loads of fun. So if you fancy that, do slide into my DMs and we'll book you in as a guest. Honestly, if you've got a topic, loosely, spiritually, pagan-y, let me know, because I absolutely adore this gig. I adore it. I'm also open to trailer swaps as well, if you fancy a bit of that jazz. My email is thebellwitchpodcast@yahoo.com. I love singing Yahoo. I'm such a millennial. Right, what were I saying? I've forgotten. Oh, yeah. So if you would like to sign up to support me, please do. Other ways you can support me is rate me, review me, tell people, tweet me. The ratings really do help in terms of getting new listeners because I'm such a little baby podcast. So yeah, if you could please rate, review and share me, that would be amazing and make this witch really happy to gain new listeners and be discovered by more magical souls out there in podcast land. Thank you, witches. Every time I do one of these podcasts, I'm just amazed that I can do this and I can pull it out of the bag. I feel so chuffed for myself and I celebrate myself now. And you all know, those that are into the whole manifesting and law of attraction, when you've got a positive outlook on your life and you celebrate your achievements, then things come to you easily. You achieve more things because you've got a positive mindset and good things happen to high vibing folks. One thing I always think about is the universe says yes to everything all the time because it doesn't know the difference between positive and negative. So if you're thinking negatively, like, oh, bad things always happen to me, it's so unfair, the universe will say, yes, you are correct. If you say, actually, I'm really good at this gig and more of it's going to happen to me and I'm going to smash barriers and milestones and stuff, the universe says, yes, that is correct. And that little snippet of information, once I'd learned it, really altered my mindset and how I talk to myself inside and outside, because I always imagine the universe listening in to what I'm sending out and just responding with yes. I honestly do believe that's a huge mind blown moment in terms of manifesting in the law of attraction. And I'm living by it at the moment. It's so good. I mean, I went out on Friday night with some friends and one of them went, oh, you look really gorgeous, really nice tonight. And I went, oh, thank you. And it took her back, I think, because she would expect me to go, oh no, this old thing, like you see in movies. And I just didn't, and I don't do that anymore. I accept compliments now, like I freely accept compliments and I allow them to make me feel good and to raise my vibration. But it's just so common for people, especially in this Western capitalist society, to just brush it off and not accept compliments. So my challenge for you, dear listener, if you should accept such a thing, is when people give you compliments, gracefully and joyfully accept them and be like, yeah, you're right, thanks, I really appreciate you noticing my hard work, how I look, what I'm wearing, my positivity, my smile, the state of my house, my cup of tea. Do you know what I mean? Anything at all except that glorious compliment, dear witches, accept it. Oh, what else? Tell me you saw the amazing aurora a couple of Fridays ago. It was so beautiful. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. Luckily for me, I just happened to be on my first camping trip of 2024. So I was near Settle with a group of women on a journaling retreat. I didn't know there was the aurora going on. Well, I was sat round the fire with them and they were saying, oh, it's a red warning. I was a bit like, I've no idea what you're talking about. And then one of them told me that this rare Northern Lights phenomena was going to be going right over Europe and the UK would get a really good vision, like a front seat eye, which is just so unusual for little Blighty. We do tend to miss quite a lot of amazing things happen in the sky just because I think we're so small. Anyway, it started and it was just kind of a bit green and wispy and it looked a bit like clouds. So I was a bit like, oh, that must be it. Half an hour later, it was just phenomenal. It was really bright. And I think because we were in the middle of a dark field away from motorways and stuff, we got an absolutely outstanding look of it for the whole 90 minutes, looking up at the stars, which also seemed really bright, but also the aurora and how beautiful it was and how it changed. And you couldn't really see it changing because the changes were just so delicate and minuscule, but yet it was that kind of thing. You look and it's like you've looked away and you've looked back and it's changed, but you haven't. Your eyes have been glued to the sky. I just felt so humbled and pretty amazed. I'm just super chuffed that I got a front seat to it, camping under the stars at the right place at the right time. So that just set me up for a really cool weekend. It was just one of those that will go down in history for me, and I'll be thinking about that experience that I had at Rathmel on my deathbed. And I can't help but feel I am experience these wonderful moments in life now because I'm open to it and I'm feeling really happy mentally inside myself. I'm pretty sure if I wasn't there, I honestly think I'd probably miss it. Something would have come up, I'd have slept through it and then been devastated waking up and seeing all the Facebook pictures. I'd probably end up doing that scribble, somebody scribbled on the sky being like, oh, look at the northern lights. 10 years ago, that would have been me. It was a good weekend. I ran a couple of witchy workshops to make a sigil and then put that into an amulet that we created from dry clay with herbs from my little herb basket. These things are always really awesome to do with other people because I believe magic works better if it's created as a whole with other people. I mean, sure, it works solo, but it also works amazingly if everybody does the same thing at the same time in a bit of a circle. And that's why I set up Friendly Coven, because my ultimate goal was to just create magic with other like-minded souls. I looked into altars, all the tools and what they mean, the symbolism, and then I also did a brief history of pendulums and got the coven members to work with a pendulum. I had no idea the vast history of pendulums throughout the centuries. It's actually massive when I looked into it. All the way from the 1st century when pendulums were used by Chinese scientists to foretell an earthquake coming, and then you've got the whole Victorians with clocks, swinging pendulums for clocks, scientific experiments, and then of course you've got the putting people under hypnosis, all the way through to the Victorians using pendulums for psychic and divination stuff. So I was amazed just how big it was. It was much bigger than I thought and way too much to fit into an hour of teaching at the coven. So maybe that could be a future episode. Who knows? Watch this space, witches. It made me laugh the other day. I'm trying to do more polls on Instagram because I read that's a good way of getting people to connect and communicate and stuff. So I did a poll for Choose episode before I put it out saying what is the next episode about? I think I put some magic ritual stuff, some heathenry stuff, and then I put for the third option to get Swailes to manifest a cat. And pretty much everybody voted the last one. Just made me laugh so much. I'm obviously going on about it a lot now. I am manifesting my dream life, and a little bit of that is I want a cat. I really, really want a cat, a pet cat. What kind of witch doesn't have a cat? And everything else I've manifested has come to fruition if I mention it on the podcast. So I thought it might be worth mentioning Swailes is manifesting a cat. Although my husband is dead set against it. So there's a bit of push and pull there for the manifestation. Perhaps a tiny barrier. I think he'll come around eventually. Like he did when I wanted to have a home birth with a birth pool. He did come around at 36 weeks. It just took a long time. Who knows, witches? I would absolutely love a little witchy cat. And if I got one, it would be black. And I would name it Magic. Black Magic. I'm babbling now, aren't I? I'm doing that really long intro thing that I do. The chosen theme of this episode is the delightful little flower known as forget-me-nots. I think now at the end of May you can really feel summer is here. I do feel the past week or two it's so abundant with life and flowers and bees, and I've been jogging and I've been stopping to watch the little busy bees collect the pollen. It's been an absolute joy because I've really missed it, and it felt like such a long winter this time because it wasn't like a proper winter, it was just like a half-assed grey kind of chilly, very dark winter, and they're often like that in Blighty, aren't they? But one thing I've really noticed about this spring summertime is all the forget-me-nots, the little teeny tiny flowers. They're beautiful, like a little baby blue, and they've got a little orange centre, and they're just absolutely stunning. And I must have planted them once in my garden, because right now my garden is absolutely chock-a-block with them, and I see them everywhere I go. When I went to the retreat when I was camping, I actually took a jam jar full of them for a centrepiece around where we all journaled, and I think they work so well, just quickly pulled up and put in a little jam jar. They're absolutely beautiful. And so when I was thinking about a topic for the episode, I thought, oh, maybe I should look back on the folklore and stuff around forget-me-nots and see what I can find. Magical properties, etc, etc. There were loads of really cool, interesting bits and bobs, so I thought, oh yes, that's definitely going to be an episode. So let's dive into the folklore and magic properties of the sweet little forget-me-nots. That name, it speaks in accents dear, of love and hope and joy and fear. It softly tells an absent friend that links of love should never end. It whispers waft a swelling breeze o'er hill and dale, by land, by seas, forget me not. And that was The Sentiment of Flowers by T.S. Robert in 1811. Can't do anything without a poem here. I've always got to find a poem. The dainty true blue flower, or myosotis, its other name, which nobody remembers, is a European native flower that's now naturalised throughout much of North America and Europe, growing everywhere from in the wild to little spots in private gardens and yards. The name comes from the ancient Greek meaning mouse's ear, which the foliage thought to resemble. Oh, how cute is that? Little meese ears. It spreads really easy because it self-seeds and it can live anywhere really. I mean, it prefers moist habitats like shady woods and stuff, but it's not really that picky as a little flower. It's so good at adjusting and adapting to its surroundings. It can live happily with other little flowers or on its own. It's just such a little joyous flower. It's so cute. But it's one of those, once it's seeded, that's it. It'll grow there forever and ever. I mean, you can pull them up. I don't know why you'd want to do that, but if you got sick of them, you could just pull them up. But they will come back. It's really hard to get rid of them, apparently, once they're in. Maybe that's why they've spread so wildly this year. Maybe somebody planted a little garden nearby and the winds just brought them about my neighbourhood. So there's a really common story about how this little flower got its name. A medieval folklore story that tells us of a knight running an errand for his fair lady as they were walking along the river. And the fair lady saw these little flowers and declared that if he loved her, he should go and get some of these teeny tiny little flowers. So the knight, being a gentleman and also very brave, bent down to pluck some of these flowers near the water's edge for his lady love. But then disaster struck as he lost his footing on the slippery rocks and fell in the river. Couldn't swim very well because his armour was just too heavy for him, and he ended up being sort of swept away and pulled under the river. And it is said that his last words to her as he cried out was, "Forget me not." And that's apparently one of the stories of how it got the name Forget Me Not. Bit of a disaster. And there's slight alterations of this story. In a French version, the knight manages to keep hold of these flowers as he's in the water, and he throws them to her feet, before he sinks under and drowns. The Victorians used this flower as a kind of floral language to represent love in absence, aka don't forget me or forget me not. Magically, the ancient Egypts used the forget-me-not to aid in receiving visions during the month of Thoth, approximately September 11th to October 10th, by placing a few leaves over their eyes. I wondered if it means leaves or if it means petals, but then I guess you'd have a lot of petals to cover an eye. It wasn't specified on the thing I was reading, and I just kind of went off on a little side tangent trying to find the answers, but I just couldn't find them, so you speculate your own way is what I'm doing. It was considered a lucky plant, and in Germany it was used as a talisman for finding hidden treasures, especially if it was guarded by the fae. I can see that being quite a fairy flower because it's just so dinky, innit? I mean, to them it'd probably be like a sunflower size to their little tiny hands. If fairies are indeed tiny, in my Disney-esque brain, I always see fairies like proper mini, like Tinkerbell or something. Even smaller than brownies in like the Brownie film. I can't remember if I read it in a book or watched it on social media not so long ago, and it was suggesting that fairies are life-size or even bigger. They don't have to be tiny, and that just blew my brain. I think I might have mentioned it before, but in my head, fairies are just tiny. I think it was when I was looking at hobgoblins for the Hoggle Hole cave, that's it. Forget-me-nots were often used for protection from the fae and their mischief. But judging by the plant's behaviour, I think it could actually be fairy mischief because the way the seeds roam around, I think they've got little sticky prongs on them, so they stick to passing animals, dogs and cats, and maybe a lover's sleeve as they're being picked and then walked across the meadow, and that's a good way for the little forget-me-not to travel. It's just so sweet. They're obviously quite a feminine plant, I feel, because they're just so dinky, aren't they, and blue, like a really gorgeous sort of talky baby blue. They're associated with the moon as a planet, and they represent the earth as an element, which is pretty obvious just because it's a flower that grows on earth. Magically, it's connected with the persistence of memory, as the name may suggest again, forget-me-not. So spells would be to strengthen memory in preparation to sit an exam or remember a script for public speaking, something like that. It can strengthen family bonds and friendships if you carry it with you in a mojo bag or as a dried flower to keep your loved ones close to your heart. Gifted pot or posy of forget-me-nots to a loved one who is grieving or in need of support, showing them that you will continue to think of them while these little flowers bloom. So it's a representation of my thoughts are with you in this trying time. Not even sympathy, but people are feeling a bit lonely. I reckon they'd be quite nice as a reminder that they're loved, which is such a lovely little way of using forget-me-nots. They're good for support, healing, peace, memory. They look peaceful, but they also look really cheerful to me. I just think they're really cute. Proper cute little flowers. Now, I don't know if they're edible. I find places saying you can eat them in very small quantities. Like you could decorate a little salad with them. But I personally wouldn't eat them just because they contain, right, here we go, paralizidine, which if ingested in large quantities can cause stomach upset and harm to your intestines. So it's not really a great thing to eat. I suppose 1 or 2 on a salad might look nice, or in a cocktail or whatever, but I wouldn't make an elixir from them and drink it. That seems quite dodgy, if I do say so myself. But there is other ways you can use them. You can make moon water because they represent the moon. You could add a couple of forget-me-nots to strengthen bonds, perhaps with a moon goddess or a fellow witch. I feel they'd look quite good on an altar amongst a crystal grid or as an offering to Hecate or something like that. Other ways you can use them in a love talisman. Weave a small sachet with dried forget-me-nots and carry it with you to attract loyal and faithful love and friendships. Placing this under your pillow at night can also invite dreams of true love and peace. Oh, isn't that lovely? Although I don't really know what it means by sachet. To me, a sachet is like full of ketchup or something, vinegar. So I don't know if it means weave it into a little bag perhaps, or make some kind of old school pagan crafts with it. I'll let you figure that one out, witches. They do make great protection charms. Add forget-me-nots to protection spell jars or mojo bags to safeguard yourself and loved ones. These charms can be placed at the doorway or carried during travels to ensure safe passage on your journey. They are very protective. They seem like such a sweet little flower. I'm really drawn to them this time, so there's definitely something in that. Today, many pagans honour the humble forget-me-nots during rituals, especially those connected to ancestral magic or the celebration of Beltane and summer solstice, because it's a time of love, growth and remembrance. Planting these flowers in your garden or wearing them as a floral crown can be a beautiful way to invite their gentle energy into your life. In the grand tapestry of magical herbs and flowers, forget-me-nots stand out as a symbol of enduring love, connection and memory. The tiny blossoms remind us that even the smallest elements in nature can hold profound magic and meaning, because they're just so tiny but they're mighty as well. And I think because they are so hell-bent on growing, they're like a survivor plant. So to me as a witch, the forget-me-not represents survival as well as protection, peace and tranquility, memory connections, memory strengths, and love, enduring love. There's so much love there. It's such a sweet little flower. I love it. Did you know that water forget-me-not was more commonly known as scorpion grass once, because its curled cluster of blue flowers resembled a scorpion's tail, when they were about to bloom. I just really love that. It's kind of dark. It's like, look at me, I'm such a beautiful flower, but I also resemble a scary reptile that could kill you in one quick sting. And of course it has 5 miniature little petals, and then inside them it has kind of like a little star in the middle. I mean, how pagan is that? The pentacle, when you cut an apple long ways, there's the star that runs throughout nature. It just makes me so happy to be pagan. It was really funny when I was talking about them on Instagram. A few people replied saying that their kids called forget-me-nots like "don't think about me" or "please forget me's." Just made me laugh. If you dream of the flower forget-me-nots, it may be a sign that someone you have lost is trying to communicate with you. The flower could also represent your own feelings of nostalgia and a longing for the past. Alternatively, the dream may be a symbol of loyalty and steadfastness in a current relationship, if you dream about the person with a forget-me-not. Additionally, in some cultures, forget-me-not flowers are believed to bring good luck and protection to a person who dreams of them. So this could be a positive sign that you're on the right path and good things are coming your way, witches. Of course, it's important to pay attention to the details of the dreams and how you feel in those dreams during the dream, as I think that is very important, rather than just saying this is what I dreamt of, this is a forget-me-not. I think it's like tarot, innit? Like, it's all the connections and all the symbolism, and it all works together, not just here's a flower, this is what your dream means. In Christian mythology, it was said that God gave the flowers their name when Adam was naming all the animals in the Garden of Eden. As he ran out of names, the small blue flower cried out, "Forget me not!" I feel this flower could be a really successful cartoon character in a comic book or something. In German folklore, the flowers are believed to have magical powers that could grant wishes. And in Greek mythology, the forget-me-not was associated with the goddess Aphrodite, symbolising her eternal love for the handsome Adonis. So that's from foliageandfriend.com, forget-me-not flower meanings. It's a little credit for you there. Always credit your sources. In traditional medicine, the flower and its leaves were used to treat inflammation, fever and sore throats. The plant was also used in European herbal medicine to treat eye problems as a diuretic. Oh my God, why do I do this to myself? I'm so dyslexic. Diuretic, is that right? I think that's right. I quite like that they represent spiritual growth, enlightenment and connections with the past and friendships, connections with the goddess. I really like this little flower. It seems to make me just wonder at them, I think, because they're so tiny. When you hold one, I'm just astonished how detailed they are for such a teeny weeny little flower. They're just so cute. I think they're quite common to represent grief in funerals. I think florists put forget-me-nots in bouquets and stuff around other big flowers because of the colour and that connection with reminiscing and memory of people gone that we've lost contact with. So it's lovely symbolism for death and letting go, but also never really letting go because you'll remember them for years to come. During World War I, soldiers would often send letters home to their loved ones with forget-me-not flowers enclosed within the letter as a symbol of their remembrance and love. This tradition has continued to this day, with forget-me-not flowers being used as a symbol of remembrance for loved ones who have passed away. Closely associated with the Zodiac sign Pisces, which is known for its emotional sensitivity, creativity and intuitive nature. They are also considered to be connected with the planet Neptune, which symbolises spiritual awareness and searching for the deeper meanings of life and loyalty and love. They're also connected with good luck and fortune. In some cultures, they're used as a talisman or an amulet to ward off bad luck and evil spirits. So if you see forget-me-not flowers in your daily life, it'll be a sign of good things to come and a reminder to stay present, enjoy the moment, smell the flowers and celebrate life's small victories. I really like that. I really, really like that. And I think it represents a lot about how I feel within myself, within my witchy life and my witchy business at this moment. I hope that was interesting and helpful for you and not too waffly or confusing. These solitary witch episodes take a bit more work from me as an independent creator than the Moot Loot does. The Moot Loots I find a little bit more enjoyable in terms of recording and creating, whereas these take quite a lot more of my brain capacity and more time to stitch together and become something that's worth listening to. So I do hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have enjoyed it, please rate and review me and share me and help me get more listeners. I am so thankful and so grateful that I can do this, and as you hear this, I'll be knee deep in May half-term shenanigans with my two little witches, and so I wish you a very happy half-term. Get ready for June. We are in the middle of the year and I cannot wait for summer solstice and camping season, in which I'll be out almost every weekend this summer, so there's that. You have been listening to the Bell Witch podcast, Witching in the 21st Century with me, Swailes, the friendly green witch. Created with love and magic on Wavepad Master, distributed by Zencaster, Music is by Jeff Harvey of Pixabay. My official photographer is the lovely Beverly Thornton. And that's it from me. Stay magical, witches.